What's up, guys? It's Wolverine Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Hill Heat. Who better? Nobody. What's up, True Hill Heat? True Hill Heat. What's up? True Hill Heat. All hands on
What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo preview. Previewing the big two cards on Friday and Saturday this week in Sapporo for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And of course, if I'm talking about NJPW, I'm going to have one of two people or both of them at the same time. This time I have one of the two and the more positive of the two. We have from over at Sonal's Life, from over at Ace Techers, the most positive NJPW fan in the land. It is Sonal.
Hello, yeah. No, there have been moments where even for me, the positivity hasn't always been there. You might see a bit of that today. We might see a bit of it today, but we are here to talk about the new beginning in Sapporo show, and I'm actually quite excited. I don't know if I'm as excited as I was for the Osaka show. I think the Osaka show really was the show.
Yeah, I will say though, like going over the cards, uploading the graphics for this, I was like looking at the card for especially the 23rd, and I was like, is this card better than Osaka? Because Osaka,
wait. Did we not just do last week like a review for the Osaka show and was like,
yes,
oh my god.
because they did not book that final run of matches properly because the redheaded stepchild, the mole on the Osaka card, was that tag team title match. So I would say I think if we
I thought we were counting that as like a blip.
Once we go over the card, I'm gonna ask you again. Once we go over card for night one, I'm gonna ask you again. It might not have a match that's on the level of Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr., but I think it will be consistently good.
Will many, if any, match that match?
I thought no one was going to match the match, and then I just watched Will Ospreay and Michael O'Cool from yesterday.
Which, please, people do not. I know, please do not spoil because I know I'm bad. I know I didn't watch it. Okay, people are coming at me. I regret not going, but you know what? Sometimes when you're in two very big fandoms, wrestling and K-pop, you realize you don't have unlimited money. So I couldn't watch it live, but I will watch it.
As long as you will watch it, that's all we can ask from Sonal. But I think you're gonna get more people who's making fun of the fact that you haven't watched it because my American ass has.
Yeah, I do put my hands up and say but technically, right, you had more time because the show would have finished about 10:30 here. Which would have been about 7:30, 8 o'clock at earlier than that.
No, it's much earlier. So you said it ended at what, 11 your time? The show?
Yeah, it would have been about 10:30, 11.
So that's like 6 my time.
Yeah, so then you had that whole thing. But then I was in bed by 10:30. I was up this morning. I've been working, and I'm doing this podcast.
To be fair, it's a 5-hour show. No, 4 hours. 4 hours and change show. So I still have to go back and watch the rest of the show. I saw so many people talking about it, and I saw clips from the Oku and Ospreay match on my timeline that I was like, I gotta watch this before I scroll my timeline and ruin the whole match for me. So
this is why you have 2 social medias. I don't have to scroll. I'm like, I've got 2 separate ones, and if I would need to avoid something wrestling, I just go on the other one.
There you go. But we're going to talk about these 2 huge cards for Friday and Saturday in Sapporo, a huge wrestling week, because we're going to have previews for TNA No Surrender this week, as well as WWE Elimination Chamber. Then next week, we got a Revolution. So there's so much to enjoy. So we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. If you're watching us on demand, remember to show that appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If they
don't like wrestling, share it with them. They might like it. After
this is true. This is true. They might just like us. So we enjoy it. And they might not be a New Japan fan, so this might be a place for them to get used to New Japan before they watch the shows this weekend. So welcome. If you are new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified so you always know when we go live. But most importantly, sound off in the live chat if you're with us live. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, the most important thing, you can send a super chat donation if you're feeling generous and you have enough to give back to us. We always appreciate that. We don't want you to go outside your means, but if you have a little bit, we always appreciate that giving back, and we will highlight your comment on screen. And of course, those super chat donations go back to the contributors like my good friend here, Sonal. And we got in the chat already Frantic World, who says, what's up, SP3 Sonal in chat. We got Dustin, who says, this Sapporo shows are going to be a weird watch. The only weirdness I have about it is that these are the final 2 shows of Kazuchika Okada's career in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we would not know it.
Well, because we seem to think that there's been some backstage shenanigans, which nobody, after our plea on the last episode, nobody has come to help us with any dirt on why Okada, because I think I saw something on Reddit about his merch as well, that like apparently New Japan was his merch. So I'm like, yeah, what has Okada literally shitting Gato's bag on his way out?
He shit in Obari's bag. He shit on the Bushi Road headquarters, office building. Damn. He did a whole bunch of shit.
Ahead of the New Japan Cup, he is shit in the New Japan Cup to leave his mark.
He left his mark for sure. RPGs is saying, afternoon, guys. We really going into a new beginning post Okada. That is for sure. We got Frantic World. He says, I'm trying to watch that Rev Pro show. Tony Khan was so hyped last night. Tony Khan got a thank you, Tony shit at the Rev Pro show.
Why?
Because he created the alternative. Sonal. He created a place for your favorite New Japan stars to make some actual money.
Well, how come when I go to these Rev Pro shows, no one says thank you, Sonal, for all these New Japan shows, for spreading the word of New Japan Pro Wrestling? Because Tony Khan gets thanks, where's my thanks?
You're not giving him millions of dollars.
I'm giving him millions of praise. That should be worth more than the millions of dollars that Tony Khan has given him.
You got to say it with more confidence next time. Dustin says, I heard Luke Jacobs' match was a banger. I mean, Luke Jacobs having a banger seems to be the thing at Rev Pro.
It's the norm. You expect it now.
Absolutely. He says, excuse my manners. Good afternoon, you guys. Good afternoon.
Don't worry about it.
We got Big Man Dogs. He says, the Three Musketeers should jump Okada after his last match. I would be so down for that.
But that would mean that the Three Musketeers would have to. Oh, actually, yeah, because if they have the hair versus hair, and then suddenly, but 4 Musketeers. Let's say 4 Musketeers.
There we go.
I always feel wrong.
The Musketeers.
like Jay News says, I always feel wrong saying the 3 because Paul Uemura is out here shining as much as Tsuji. Well, okay, it's short time, but he's not even getting a mention. The poor thing. No.
He's definitely shining more than Ren Narita.
I mean, that's not hard though, is it? House of Torture, isn't it?
We got RPGs that said Tony Khan built an alternative in a pandemic with a box of scraps. All he had was Daly's place and a couple of wrestlers, and he was
hell of money.
A whole hell of a lot of money.
Yes. The slight difference.
What's the cure to pandemic and cancer and all this? Money. There you go. Key or Eureka. Fantastic World says, thank you, Sonal. There you go. We got Big Man Dogs who says NJPW needs to buy the 4 Pillars copyright from AJPW.
They didn't have the money for that. They don't have the money to keep Okada. They don't have the money to pay for a trademark.
Like, no, we ain't got the money for that. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that. But we got a couple of matches on the undercard for the first night, which is going to be on February 23rd in Sapporo.
Friday. Really odd. That's a Friday.
Very weird for a New Japan show to be on a Friday.
Big one, like the 2 big ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing though, because I can just go to sleep early after like a TNA Impact and then wake up in time for this. So. Thanks, New Japan. But the Saturday start is always tricky because I do a SmackDown post show. I have to get ready for the True Hill Heat Flagship podcast. Luckily, I moved the Flagship podcast. It's going to be on a Sunday this week, guys, because Elimination Chamber is going to be on the same time as New Japan. It's in Australia, so it starts at 5 a.m. Eastern.
Oh my god!
So 10 a.m. for you.
I mean, that one, it's crazy that it's in Australia. 2, those poor WWE and New Japan fans, what are you gonna do?
I gotta have the double screen, damn it. But first up, you got the pre-show matchup. It's gonna be the Frontier Zone, as you got Toru Yano teaming up with I forget his name. How do you pronounce this name? Tomoya versus Tetsuya Morishima. Marashima and Tomaki Hama. Who you got in this Frontier Zone matchup? This is the first of 2 Frontier Zone matchups, as they'll have another match on the second night.
Yeah, the Yano, isn't it? It's just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, Team Yano. I'll go with Yano here.
I do quite like these Twilight Zone matches. Because I think, like, it shows off, like, different... Because this is where all the different companies and stuff come in, and then you see the Young Lions, and especially for the Young Lion here, it's like, it's given him a big thing to go up against 2 different guys with 2 very different styles.
Yeah, it's going to be a helpful thing. The more they do it, it probably you'll start to see these kind of like young guys, either the Young Lions or the guys coming from outside of New Japan. They'll start to steadily get over the more they do these Frontier Zone matches, especially on these big major cards. We got here, I got people in the chat saying, what is this match? Like Frantic World. It's New Japan. It's the pre-show matchup.
I know, but people always say this, and like I think they've always said it about like the Young Lion, because they've not actually recently had the Young Lion or Young Lion just because of the tours. But when you look maybe 5 years in the future and you see that Young Lion, and you'll be like, oh, he started in these Frontier. Do you know what I mean? Like these matches might seem weird, but imagine for this Young Lion who is teaming with 3 different veterans, all with so much experience. Might seem like, what is this match? But for them, it's a big thing. Because, like, I think especially with Honma and Yano, will be his senpais in the dojo. So
yeah, like I said, I think it's gonna take like a couple of months to a year of this actual thing getting over. I kind of view like the Frontier Zone kind of like the C block or the original C block of the G1, where it took a couple of years of them doing that for it to get over. And then when David Finley and them were started saying C block, and then by the time like the Gabe Kids and the Yoda Sujis were doing C block action, people were actually into those.
I went to my wardrobe because. Yeah.
There you go.
Directly from David Finlay, I got it. I got it as a gift from David Finlay after winning a competition.
What a wonderful shirt. Then you got the first match on the main card for night one is a good one, Sonal, as we got Zack Sabre Jr. going one-on-one with former IWGP heavyweight champion Nagata. You got Nagata here, who just had a matchup with Bryan Danielson over in AEW, which was a great matchup. So you know Zack is wanting to prove a point here. Who do you got? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nagata.
I have Zack, but I'm so excited for this. Like the way New Japan, like maybe people might go, well, what is the point of this match? Nagata is in his 50s. There are some New Japan dads who are maybe past their prime or those older ones, but you have guys like Nagata, Kojima, who are still proving that they can go. And Zack has the respect for Nagata, and that's why he wants this match. Similarly, he had matches with Tiger Mask, and while you might think it's pointless, these guys are still veterans and people who Zack would have looked up to, especially knowing his love of wrestling. So Zack is going to win, but Nagata is going to put up one hell of a fight.
Absolutely. If you saw Nagata in that matchup against Bryan Danielson, it was very basic, but had very great psychology, very good in-ring action, some stiff strikes, and I expect a similar output from him and Zack here. And the cool stat going into this matchup is that Yuji Nagata is 1-0 against Zack Sabre Jr. So this is Zack kind of getting a win back, getting a win over a former IWGP heavyweight champion
on the road to his IWGP championship.
Because it was at in Osaka after he beat Bryan Danielson. He made the challenge to the winner of Naito versus SANADA, which we'll get into. That's going to be on night 2 here. But before we get to that, we got the second match on the main card here. It's going to be Hontai, Toge Makabe, Rasuke Taguchi, and Bolton Olin versus the House of Torture. Ren Narita, Yujiro Takahashi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Who you got here?
Like the sad reality is that it's going to be a House of Torture win.
This is obviously a House of Torture win.
In my head, I don't know, wouldn't it be great if Oleg like randomly just got the pin over Yujiro? Because technically that is realistically could happen. But in the laws in New Japan, it can't. There's going to be some shenanigans. Probably not too many because the junior match is on this card, right?
Yeah, the junior title matches.
So they'll save most of that for later. It's House of Torture match, isn't it?
House of Torture wins.
Who's gonna get the win? Is it Yujiro gonna beat Makar? Oleg?
No, Narita. Narita over Taguchi.
Love Taguchi. Oh, also, if you're not, and I was speaking to SP3 about this, Fantastica Mania stars of the show have been, in my eyes, Hiromu Takahashi, aka Kamatachi, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Guy does not get enough credit for everything he does.
And then we got the second to last match ever in New Japan Pro Wrestling for Kazuchika Okada as he'll team up with his Chaos brethren Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo to verse United Empire, the remaining members of United Empire that all got beaten up and to oblivion in the side of a steel cage. You got Jeff Cobb, Great Okan, Hanare, Francisco Akira, and Callum Newman. Who you got here?
I'm like, this one's a hard one actually, because if this match would have been put on like the second day, I would have said, like, I would have been more certain that Chaos was losing, and I think that they could have maybe progressed the storyline with Chaos. Because remember, like, Okada leaving is basically what is going on with Chaos. I don't really know.
Who's the leader? Who's the leader after Okada leaves?
This is what I mean. I think that unless somebody comes or they have a major rebrand, Chaos is done for, because I love the rest of the members. They're good, but there is nobody that stands out. You know, like when Nakamura left, Okada he had that ability, but I don't know if anyone in Chaos does. But again, Empire, They also don't have a leader, technically, even though they said that there's no leader, but then they're still battered. I guess some of them, I mean, Akira's been wrestling during Fantastica Mania, but not big spots, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, and we saw, for example, the Rev Pro show, Gabe Kidd was meant to wrestle, but kayfabe or not, they mentioned that the steel cage match, he couldn't do it anymore. No, big man dogs, no, we don't want Chaos to go away. We want them to regroup. We want
just
them to
go away. Throw the whole thing away.
We want them to go back to 2018, the power they held there when they had all of the belts. Yo can take over.
That was 6 years ago, Sonal. 2018.
I'm still not over it. I'll never be over 2018 chaos. I'm living there.
She's like, I just want to live in that. I want to live there.
If you guys were there in 2018, the start of 2018, you'll know Chaos was the faction.
You know, the vibes were real. The vibes were real. Next up, we got another multi-man matchup. It's going to be 5-on-5. The rivals of Los Ingobernables de Japón versus Just 5 Guys 1 day prior to their best of 5 single match series. You got SANADA, Taichi, Yuya Uemura, Doki, and Takumi Shinoku for Just 5 Guys versus Tetsuya Naito, Shingo Takagi, Yota Tsuji, Bushi, and Hiromu Takahashi for Los Ingobernables de Japón. Who you got here? Hopefully the final 5-on
ever.
Ever. I don't need to see it again. I don't.
I don't know. Again, it's a weird one. I assume unless they're really going to pull an upset ahead of it, it's either Bushi or Taka going to get pinned.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to pull something really big, like, I don't know.
I think Just 5 Guys wins here.
Yeah, I think so too, especially if what I think is predicting for the next day. I feel like they're going to make maybe Just 5 Guys seem really dominant and that they do it. And then obviously, I don't know if you'll have the same predictions for the second night, but I feel like night 2 might be LIJ night.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So yeah, I'll get Just 5 Guys here for the Okada matchup. I'm taking Okada because Okada doesn't want to lose on his way out. So.
Well, we've seen that.
Yeah, like it was pretty obvious.
Doesn't want to put anyone over. Doesn't want to lose.
He don't want to lose on his way out, so yeah, he'll win.
Also, quick one, guys. On the last review, we asked you, does anyone have any dirt on what's going on with Okada? Me and SP3 have still got nothing.
Yeah, need to give us this information. Someone in the chat must know. We got Dustin who says if Okada's last 2 matches don't have an interesting angle, what the fuck is the point in booking them?
Okada, Okada made his claim. He's not putting over no young boys.
We got Big Man Dog says Takagi pulls a SANADA and takes leadership of Chaos. Only way you could revive it.
I would love that though, because imagine like after their years of fighting, Shingo and Ishii sound like they become a tag team. I mean, I do.
Oh my god!
I want a Shingo Tsuji tag team, but if I can't have that, give me a Shingo Ishii tag team.
I'm sold. I'm sold on this plan, Big Man Dogs. The Chaos will keep going.
Yes, Frantic World, yes.
And Trey Jones, you are also correct. LIJ versus Just 5 Guys forever, forever, forever.
As Rocky Romero says.
RPG says Chaos don't have a young heavyweight to put in charge. Either Goto by Ciardi or just dismantle into Hontai. Yo's a junior.
He's young. I mean, he's not young by like young standard, but he's like in his like early 30s and he still can go. So
I don't see him putting on weight and becoming a heavyweight anytime soon.
His stature, like whereas Show, you could always see him going up. His moveset and his stature just is junior wrestling.
Facts. Surprise! We got a women's match on a New Japan card.
There you go, haters. There you go.
IWGP Women's Championship up for grabs for the first time on an NJPW show since Sakura Genesis last year. Sheesh. It's going to be Mayu Iwatani defending against Mina Shirakawa, the former Wonder of Stardom champion. This is going to be their history against one another in one-on-one action. Iwatani is 2-0. Does Mina get her big win over Mayu Iwatani? or does Mayu keep her reign with the IWGP Women's Championship going and try to reach 1 year? She's just 2 months away from reaching 1 year with the title. Who you got, Sonal?
I think Mayu. I don't see them like her losing the title on a New Japan show. Like, I just think that if like, especially you said it's coming up to a year, I think we're gonna want to, especially I'm gonna bring up with everything going on with Stardom that has been going on with Stardom, and you know, like the thing, like all of that going on, they'll want some sort of like consistency, and I think that the best thing is just to keep it on her for now.
I think there is a chance for Mina Shirakawa to win here because I do know that Mayu was very upset with the departure of Rossi Elgawa. And
so she could be thinking of.
I mean, the last time a champion was not happy with a decision made by Bushi Road, that champion lost their title soon thereafter, talking about Julia last year. Julia lost her title very abruptly at All-Star Grand Queendom. I could see that happening with Mina Shirakawa here, being that Mayu has been visibly upset with what's been going on with Stardom. Maybe what they don't want a title on her and her being a representative of the company right now, or they may want to keep the title on her because she does have a film coming out in Japan. That is up in the air. I think that Mina Shirakawa, this is a great platform for her. I think that she's been one of the most talented and most charismatic performers for the Stardom roster. Instantly, there was someone that I kind of became a fan of watching Stardom last year, and her Wonder of Stardom championship win against Saya Kamitani was one of the best women's matches last year. And I think they have the potential, if they get time on this card, because that's always up in the air. We only have
it's quite low on the card, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 5th match on the card. It's like the first title match on the card at least. So I think it does get like maybe 10, 12 minutes. It can be a highlight on this card. It can be a great matchup. But I'm going to take Mayu Iwatani getting the win here.
Depends on the politics. Depends on how much Bushi would want to politics at the moment.
And you know, they seem to be heavy on that as of late. But you mentioned it earlier, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship will be up for grabs. It will be El Desperado defending his title against Sho, with big stakes up for grabs here, as not just the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship will be up for grabs, but if Sho loses, he must join Strong Style.
I'm so excited. Is it bad to say I'm really excited for this match?
I wish I could be more excited, because once they added that stipulation, hate to say it, Sho's winning the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, guys.
And the thing is, though, I'm not mad.
I am.
I think out of everybody in House of Torture, Sho is the one that has pissed me off the least. Just because at least his character works. I personally think the added stipulation means, because it's not a long-term stipulation. We know, remember what happened with Okan and Tenzan stipulation for the Mongolian troops. I feel like this is going to be a thing where Sho is going to be fighting so much and he's not going to want to join, so we're going to see the old Sho. It's not going to happen. Then Sho's going to join Strong Style for a bit, and then maybe that'll be like the transformation he needs to go back back to High Voltage Sho, and then he can go back to Chaos and be the leader. I don't know.
There you go. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that.
Gato, listen, please.
If they cut down on the shenanigans, I think this could be a good matchup, but I don't expect it to cut down on the shenanigans. So I already feel like I'm going into this where I'm not going to pay attention until the shenanigans happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear my Roppongi 3K shirt. I'll be working, but I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna hope that by wearing that shirt, I'm gonna channel some of the High Voltage Sho. And whether he wins or loses, hopefully we get a good match, because I think Despy has been showing, like, if you watch Fantastica Mania, he's a very good champion. A lot of people have been challenging him and stuff like that, and he's been teaming with a lot of people. I feel like with all that going on, they're not going to get it off Despy, but they might use it to find a new direction for Show ahead of Best of Super Junior.
I would not mind that. I'm just
But
going by
so.
Gato's history. I'm thinking that Show's gonna win this one. Big Man Dog saying you actually got me excited because I didn't know about this added stipulation. That is what we are here for. That's what the previews are here for. Any information you need on these cards, that's what we're here to give you. So send a super chat donation. We've been talking for 30 minutes about the show. Send some support. Any dollar amount matters. It could be $1, $2. It definitely helps out, and we will make sure
with that money we can fly over to Japan and take over as bookers instead of Gato. And you can have all your dream fantasies put into a New Japan stage.
I thought you were going to say we could take over Chaos.
We can take over Chaos. You know what? I always thought that New Japan is in need of a non-wrestling faction leader.
Well, they had a non-wrestling faction spokesman.
Yeah, but I want to be the leader. No, I don't want to be the spokesman.
I'll be the spokesman.
You get that right. So you can be the spokesman. I'll be the leader. There we go.
Prince Devitt and Carl Anderson here. We got next another title match on the card, the Never Openweight Championship up for grabs as Evil defends against Shota Umino. Shota Umino defeated Ren Narita back in Kurgan Hall on the road to New Beginning, and during that matchup, he gained an assist from Tama Tonga following his loss to Evil in Nagoya for the Never Openweight Championship. After picking up the W, Tama Tonga gave Shota the mission to win the Never Openweight Championship, take it away from House of Torture, and bring it back to Hontai. Can Shota Umino pick up a big win in the post-Okada era? I think Shota Umino has to win this one. You cannot make him trip on the first obstacle out this new beginning of New Japan. You cannot make him trip the first.
You know how I know he's gonna win? He got a haircut. What happened when SANADA got a haircut?
True. Good point. I didn't think about that. And then also
everyone in the chat, let me know what you think of his haircut, because I put it on Reddit and it was very divisive, and I just want to know, what do you all think?
Could be. Dustin says Shota can't win this match if he is winning the New Japan Cup. He's not winning the New Japan Cup. Simple. You have no. Suji has to win the G1. This is the key though. My booking was Shota wins the New Japan Cup, but guess what? Ren Narita is gonna win the New Japan Cup. You gotta give him something. You gotta. The main blind spot of my booking of the year of New Japan in 2024 was I didn't do anything for Ren Narita. I was like, I'm trying to get over Shooter. I'm trying to get over Zack. I'm trying to get over Shingo. I'm trying to get over Shooter. I was like, Suji, Shooter, Zack, and Shingo. Those are my focus. I don't care what happens to Narita. Narita is going to win the New Japan Cup and then lose to Naito at Sakura Genesis.
Oh, he's going to beat Naito.
Oh, God, no. They're giving all the titles to House of Torture.
They're going to be like Chaos in 2018.
No. Zack's got to win the New Japan Cup. Zack's going to win the New Japan Cup for a third time and then win at Sakura Genesis finally. After 3 attempts.
But I feel like that's not going to work, because he's already said he's going to challenge though. And I feel like having him win the New Japan Cup sort of like cements, he's not gonna. So what he do?
When is he gonna face the champion? Because the next title match I thought was gonna be Windy City Riot.
Maybe. When's that show again?
That's in April.
Maybe.
New Japan.
I just don't see Zack winning for a third. I don't see him winning the New Japan Cup again.
Me either. I didn't see that happening either. But there's no shows. Like, there's no show after this. There's no American show. There's no US show in March. It's just the New Japan Cup. The next thing is the New Japan Cup.
and then Sakura Genesis. The only thing is they let Zack have a big moment at Dominion.
Or if they go back to the old New Japan Cup of the winner gets to choose what champion they want to challenge for, and then they put over the IWGP like global championship. Have the winner go after the global title.
Ooh. Gato, are you listening?
Hey, we are giving you the plan. You have options here, sir. We got Stefet who says Elimination Chamber and NJPW New Beginning in Sapporo. It's going to be a crazy weekend in wrestling at the same damn time on Saturday. You forgot that part, Stefet. Then you got the semi-main event here, Sonal. Very interesting bout as well. NJPW World Television Championship, 15-minute time limit. Hiroshi Tanahashi making his second defense against Matt Riddle, making his NJPW proper debut. Is Matt Riddle going to get the usual treatment here? Because when a big star who made a name over in WWE comes to New Japan, 9 times out of 10, they win their first big matchup, or win a championship 9 times out of 10. Mercedes Moné, FTR, John Moxley, like the list goes on and on of these big time WWE names that have come over to New Japan. The only exception really is Jericho's first time when he came back over. Like everybody else comes over and wins the title, or at least wins their first big matchup. Does Matt Riddle do that here?
I mean, why? Like, I'm sad to say I think he might. Just because of the match on the next day. And
I think because of the match that's following this, I think Riddle has the better chance out of the two. We got in the headline here. It's no secret. The big 2 matches on this card is Riddle challenging for the TV title, Nemeth challenging for the global title. They're not going to
go 2-0, are they?
They're not going to go. They're not going to go 2-0. One of them is going to lose. One of them, I feel, has to win, and I'm going to go with Matt Riddle beating Hiroshi Tanahashi.
And I'm really sad because, like, I mean, I get it. I get why they're not going to have Nic Nemeth win. Like, I get it. But if anyone has to win a title in New Japan,
it should be Nemeth. It should be Nemeth.
Should be the man whose shirt I'm wearing and who I will still refer to as Dolph Ziggler, probably for the next 365 days.
Fair. I still get my, whenever I say, if I say Adam Copeland pretty fine, but whenever I say the rated R superstar, I always say Edge afterwards. I never say rated R superstar Adam Copeland. I can say Adam Copeland on its own, but if I say rated R superstar, I always follow it up by Edge.
There's certain wrestlers that, like, you can easily switch between like their old name, they're like John Moxley and stuff. To be fair, John Moxley took me a while to not say Dean Ambrose, but because Nic Nemeth has been Dolph Ziggler for so long, that's all he's been. Like, it just feels wrong saying it.
Yeah, it's always like that. And whenever WWE makes their name change, I think because I discovered Ambrose as Moxley, it was very easy for me to go back to Moxley because I was like, that's so much better than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
that's such a better name than Dean Ambrose.
I got into WWE around the time of like Dean Ambrose and the Intercontinental Championship and like his peak, like lunatic fringe. So for me, it was like a massive change. But like for Ambrose, I guess Moxley, for a lot of people who've known him for years, that would have just been a lot simpler.
Yeah, that's why like we've been on this channel. I did on a couple of shows now. I did on A Ramble, talked about it on the True Hill Heat flagship, where I said that, Seth Rollins, he talks about all the time. He wants to be the number 1 guy. I don't think he's ever going to do that in WWE. He could probably become the number 1 guy if he left WWE and went to AEW. And I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable calling him Tyler freaking Black again.
Because he is Seth Rollins. Do you know what I mean? Like, Dean Ambrose never really felt like, now you see him as Moxley, it never felt right. Yeah. But Seth Rollins is Seth freaking Rollins. It just fits perfectly. Like, everything.
Right. But I totally see he's gonna do Tyler freaking Black. That's how you keep the somewhat of the character you're doing in WWE. You just add the freaking to your old indie name.
It might not let WWE get really, really bitter. And
yo, imagine if WWE copyrighted freaking.
You can't use that. That is ours now.
That would be hysterical. Oh my god. So we're both going with Riddle here?
Reluctantly. But also, let's give Tana a break. Let him just do some president stuff. Like, he had a great defense against Taguchi. And
They kind of need Tada to be a main eventer right now.
Yeah. But in his state, I don't think he can be.
That's also true.
He didn't do too badly in Fantastica Mania. Like I said, he was great, very charismatic. You can tell the crowds still love him. Like, Western fans were very critical, but the Japanese fans, they love him. They will love him no matter what he does.
Yeah.
And I will always love him.
Big Man Dogsy says Riddle is much more likely to win than Nemeth. We also got Trey Jones on the other hand who says, you have a perfectly good Nic Nemeth right there. Why are you put the belt on Riddle? I'm not saying it's the best move, but let's not act like I understand. I understand not everybody can do this, but I can separate what someone does outside of the ring from what they do in the ring. It seems like because Matt Riddle and the stuff that has been out, the allegations against him and his own antics and some of the things he said has blinded the fact people that he is a good wrestler though. And like, I feel like people have completely like missed that at all.
And I'm going to bring in like the fact that Riddle with the TV title makes again more sense. For example, see Zack, Matt, not saying they're similar styles, but you know what I mean? If any title, Matt Riddle is going to suit the TV title the best. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm in a similar thing. I've said this. I don't really follow WWE, so I don't know what Matt Riddle has done on his part. Just for some reason, Matt Riddle gives me the ick. A word that SP3 doesn't like. It's
no, I get it. It's
not even like, because like I said, I don't follow him. I know some stuff, like I knew the whole thing going on, but again, to some people, Nic Nemeth, he's said things in the past, he's done things, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard thing because and I'm gonna make a K-pop analogy because that's the thing that I know as well the most, is that you have this perception of this person, and it's to the extent on what you're going to treat them as the same, because at the end of the day, wrestling is like a movie. They are characters, and it's whether because you guys know my stance on this. I do not want Matt to win, but that's going to happen. SP3 is less into it, but to a point, and I've seen a lot of tweets going on with a lot of people making appearances recently, it's going to happen. A lot of people will have skeletons in their closet, and it's to the extent that we block it out. Because I think somebody said a New Japan tone deaf about the thing going on. Japan is a completely different market. Everything
they still wanted to use Marty Scurll after his whole involvement in speaking out. Like, yeah, it's totally different in Japan.
I'm going to bring it up because I think it happened on the last one. So if anyone watched Fantastica Mania, Ishimori did a very controversial movement during his entrance. And it was a big explosion on social media. But people did bring up that the culture here in the West is very different to Japan. What they are exposed to, what they are taught, and the culture there is very different. So while, yes, New Japan could be tone deaf on a lot of things, we have to understand that they're a different country. They might not see it. For the guys in New Japan in the office, they see a big name and they go, we want the chance to do it. Because Matt Riddle, like SP3 said, is an amazing wrestler. He is very good. We have seen it time and time. He has that charisma that a lot of people like, and I feel Japanese fans will like. So while we can criticize, and if the win happens, you can't be saying, I won't watch. Like, if you don't want to watch New Japan after that for that reason, that's fine. That's your own thing. It's similar with K-pop idols. If you don't like what somebody does, you can unlike it. But do not go after other people who, like, I will always watch the product. SP3 will. Do not go after other people who do that, who are separating watching a sport that they love just because there's one person who you don't agree with their personal views. A bit of a rant. It was a bit deep, but I feel with everything going on right now, and I know there's a lot of cancel culture and hate culture. If a fan wants to enjoy New Japan, if a fan comes out and goes, actually, that Matt Riddle Tanahashi match was good, don't hit back at them, because they might be in a point in their life. I know, like me, New Japan is their way to escape.
Yeah.
And for them, like, I'm not gonna, if they make one shitty booking, I'm not going, oh, well, Sonal's life is getting cancelled. I'm not doing that, because they've helped in so many other ways. That's just my thing, just because I've seen a lot going on, and I don't want fans to feel that they don't want to voice their opinions because they're going to get cancelled because if they say something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't like Riddle, I don't like him, but at the end of the day, you can't criticize the decisions because they will make it based on, and I said this in every other podcast, not just the Western fans, but the Japanese fans as well, who will probably not really know anything that's going on. That was a really long one. I'm sorry, SP3.
No. You was spitting some facts. You was spitting some truth right there. Big Man Dog says it that well. I'm not gonna pretend Riddle has bad matches just because he's a shit person. Both things can be true. You could be a shit person and good at what you do. Michael Jordan, shit person, great basketball player. Like there's a couple, and like even my friend Jimmy, he talked about it with talking about like the show The Bear with the main character. He's not the best person. He doesn't have good relationship, doesn't talk to people well, but he's the best chef. That's sometimes how it is. But then we got the main event here. We kind of alluded to it already. Sonal, IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. David Finlay making his first defense, and it will be against former two-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the former Dolph Ziggler, the wanted man, Nic Nemeth. Who do you think wins here?
I mean, I think we both alluded to, like, we think it's going to be Finlay just because it's bigger. It's a much bigger championship than the TV one. But holy God, I'm actually really excited for this.
I think this match is going to be great. I think this is going to... like I said, I think that all of the matches, that the last couple of matches, except for maybe Shooter and Evil, if Shooter wins that, though, I'll have a good feeling about that match as well. But you know, the nice little run of title matches here, I think this one might be the best on the card because I feel like Nic Nemeth's coming in with a point to make. I feel like David Finlay's coming in with a point to make because they're giving him the main event spot. He's trying to establish this new title. And I also don't think it's a foregone conclusion David Finlay wins this one because in New Japan's mind, I can see them saying, we gave you the big win in Osaka. You're putting over the new guy here.
I agree. Also because of the global nature of the title, even though Nemeth is not here in New Japan, because he signed with
TNA. Yeah.
He could really enforce that global thing of like keeping it in like America and stuff. I will say after the Osaka show, I was quite happy to see a lot of people changing their minds about Finlay. Like not really like saying, oh well, there was still a lot of like Gabe should be a really good leader, but a lot of people were seeing where Finlay might go to, and I was seeing as well the not Jay White Finlay.
Yeah.
And I think like if that cage match is what was needed to do that, like I'm actually really happy it happened because I think this is just going to give Finlay more heat but more attention for this match and really make Nic Nemeth come off as a great babyface who's making his debut in Japan after decades in the pro wrestling scene.
Yeah, and you could tell that was one of like Will Ospreay's goals leaving New Japan. He wanted to put over David Finlay, and he did that in a big way with Wrestle Kingdom and New Beginning in Osaka. Yeah,
and I think this match is going to be very interesting. I think I said this when he made the challenge, Nic Nemeth, of how Nemeth transfers, because I've not been watching TNA, so I don't know how he transfers the charisma and because he was a very good worker when I used to watch him, how he's transferring that to a New Japan crowd. And I guess this is going to be a big test to see how the I keep banging about Japanese crowd. It'll be a big test to see how the Japanese crowds take to him.
This is his first real big test since leaving WWE. He's been in TNA, he had the appearance at Wrestle Kingdom, but in TNA, he's only had 2 matches. They were against Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. They were TV matches on Impact. Didn't get more than like 8-9 minutes for those matches. And this is getting 20 plus, probably even more, probably like close to 30. So this is a real big test. This is probably the biggest test of his career since like in the past decade, I think that the last time he really was like put in a spot like this was like 2016 with his rivalry with The Miz.
And the weird thing is that it's such a big match for both of them. This is like in very different ways, because obviously Nic Nemeth is the established star. Like you said, this is his biggest test in like a decade, because when he was in WWE in those last years, I think I watched that Miz feud. That was really good. But after that, I didn't hear anything from him. Finley, obviously, he is trying to establish himself as the top guy Kokujin, or trying to. Obviously, we've got Zack as well, but I kind of think Zack's like a special case just because, you know, he feels Japanese now.
Zack very much, it really feels like with Zack and David Finlay, it really feels like Jay White and Will Ospreay all over again. Where the New Japan saw Jay White as the next top gaijin, but it was Will the whole time. And now it feels like New Japan wants Finlay to be the next gaijin, but it's Zack the whole time.
Yeah. I think the thing with that is obviously Zack is much older and much more experienced, so maybe they want to try and push Finlay, but it's going to be a good match because even when Finlay's character wasn't great, you can never fault Finlay in the ring. Like even when he was a babyface with what's his tag team with Juice? Finn Juice?
Yeah, Finn Juice.
Like he always put on really good matches. Like he was a very reliable worker, like the likes of Goto. So whatever happens, this is going to be a banging match. It's going to be great. And it's going to put both guys over massively, I think. So it's a win-win. So. Like, it's a win-win, I think.
I believe so as well. I'm looking forward to that one. But that is just Night 1. That's going to be on Friday. Then you got Saturday, which the undercard we could just go through very fast here. They got another Frontier Zone matchup. Yano and Tomoya versus Mutashima and Honma. Who you got in this one, the second round?
Yeah, probably still Yano and Tomoya. Just it's the way in New Japan. It's the way in New Japan.
Yeah, they try to keep it consistent, at least with that. So I am going with Team Yano as well. Then you got, this is Hontai. You got Shiro Amino, El Desperado.
I'm Chaos.
Nah, it's Yano. It's just Yo. It's just Yo from Chaos.
Yo is Chaos. Yo is Chaos. Do not.
That's it. It's Hontai. It's Hontai, man. Yeah, Chaos and Hontai are like a merger, but this is mostly Hontai. And Shota Minu, El Desperado, Toge Makabe, Yo, Bolton Oakland versus House of Torture, Evil Show, Ren Narita, Yujiro Takahashi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I'm going with House of Torture here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the thing is, it depends on what happens the night before, doesn't it? Between Despy and Shota.
I got Shota winning on night 1, so I'm thinking he's gonna the House of Torture. They'll get their heat back the very next night.
I feel like it'll be Narita pinning just to if SP3 is Narita for New Japan Cup is.
Yes, let's go. You're with it, Sonal. You're on the bandwagon. I feel it.
No, I was always a fan of Narita in his Young Lion days. So if we can get him something, and this maybe the New Japan Cup might slap him back into a good wrestler, I'm all for it. Like for example, if Show wins the junior title and it kicks him back into high voltage, I will take it.
And yes, Big Man Dogs. Yeah. Evil steals back the title from Yumino. Yes, probably what he does.
Or Yujiro might steal it. Who knows?
And then tears will be had, Sonal, as it will be the final match of Kazuchika Okada in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He teams up with Hiroshi Tanahashi and his Chaos brethren, Tomohiro Ishii and Bishamon, to verse Matt Riddle and his United Empire of Jeff Cobb, Great Okan, Hanare, and Francisco Akira. Who you got in this 5-on-5 tag with Okada's final match in New Japan?
I know we've been saying Okada's been booking himself, but you can't not have Empire win.
Yeah, you kind of have to have the win, especially if they got Riddle on the team, and if even if Riddle loses on night 1, you want him to get his heat back. So
I kind of
I got Team Riddle,
because I know you said Riddle and his United Empire, which you know what I told you I don't like Matt Riddle because he gives me but I think that makes sense. However, I've still got the hope that Akira is the new leader, because holy God, obviously I've always loved Akira, but the fact he did that, the whole lead up to Osaka, then he did that match, and then he did Fantastica Mania, and you know what, Akira might be up to the top of one of my favorite wrestlers in New Japan, just because there's just something about him that is just like, I don't know if anyone watches New Japan World. They have this like talk show thing where they bring on different wrestlers, and there's 2 episodes I've watched. Watch the the Zack Sabre Jr. and Fujita one, which is quite good. But Akira and TJP did one where they had Okan, and Akira's personality is just so pure, and it almost like contrasts what he does in the ring. And that just makes Akira so endearing to me. Like, I don't think I've seen a wrestler, and because he's so young as well, I don't think I've seen a wrestler like him in a very long time.
He's getting a lot more fandom, a lot more fans connecting with him, especially after the build to the Dog Pound street fight. So, I mean, the Dog Pound steel cage matchup. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Akira gets a nice little push this year, but why not? Why not? I think that Riddle and United Empire win that one. And then you got the final matchup for Tama Tonga in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, SP3, I'm excited.
And they got a much better matchup, Tama Tonga, for Tama than they did for Okada, the GOAT. As Tama Tonga will team up with Tangaloa, the original Gorillas of Destiny, to face the new Gorillas of Destiny, Hikuleo and El Fantasmo. JOD versus GOD. Who you got here?
I have, it feels like GOD or GOD. I have the new GOD.
You have GOD.
I have GOD. I have the new GOD because I think Tangaloa will probably get the pin. Just because he's not been there that often. I can't remember.
Yeah, you got pinned. Why not?
But no, I'm really excited for this. I can't remember like this is brother and brother. Like this, and I guess like ELP is an honorary brother. But I'm just really excited to see how like this works, because obviously they had the point, you know, where Hikuleo was Bullet Club and stuff. But this is like purely babyface versus babyface. I'm so excited for this.
I do agree with Dustin here. This should have definitely been for the IWGP tag team title.
That would have been like a full circle, wouldn't it? Of like the team who ruled the tag team division for so long, now passing the baton on to their brother.
Exactly.
Like, Gato missed out on that.
Aren't they the team that's won the titles the most times?
Yeah.
DOD,
Dustin, why did you not email this pitch to Gato? Why bring it up now?
Before Osaka. Why did you
bring it up now in the comments?
Damn you, Gato! Final preliminary matchup on the undercard here is a tag team match following up from the main event of the night prior, as you have Nic Nemeth. He's going to be teaming up with Ryusuke Taguchi to verse David Finley and Gato of the Bullet Club Roar Dogs. Who you got here?
This is I don't know if anyone saw my reaction when this was, but this is the best thing that could possibly. Nic Nemeth teaming with the Funky Weapon. Who thought of this? And I want
They're
to give them
doing the
whoever thought of this needs a raise, because I don't think it's Gato. Gato would not treat me this much. I think I have Nic Nemeth and Taguchi just because I think Gato is the obvious pin, because also I have a little tangent, like Best of Super Juniors coming up. Taguchi's always in that. So I feel like I'm not going to do it. I'm really excited for this match. I don't like Taguchi and Nic Nemeth.
The funky show-offs.
Can Taguchi come out in like the pink gear or something, like change up his gear to match with? I don't know what gear.
Can he do the entrance? I just want him to do the entrance.
What music? Because I assume he can't use his iconic WWE. Has he been using something different?
He has a new theme song. He did use the iconic WWE theme in Puerto Rico, so I don't know. Who knows?
Bring it to New Japan, please. Obviously, Daniel Bryan can do the yes.
Yeah.
in Japan. So bring that back. Have Taguchi come out to that. That will be a highlight of my year.
Come on.
Please.
And then the real highlight of this second show is the best of 5 series, LIJ versus Just 5 Guys. Hopefully to finally finish this damn thing.
SP3 is praying that we never have to see this again.
I never want to see LIJ and Just 5 Guys in 5-on-5 matches anymore. I am done with that.
How many times we should count how many times we've seen this since Wrestle Kingdom? Since before Wrestle Kingdom.
They're good matches too. It's not like they're bad matches. They're just
like the tag matches, they're always above average for the tag match thing.
I've just seen too many. All right. First matchup. Singles match, the usual job guys, the electricians, battle of electricians. It's Bushi versus Taka Michinoku. Who will look up at the lights first? Sonal.
So, in an ideal world for me, we would fall off New Year's Dash with Taka winning. Because, imagine 2024, Taka Michinoku pinning Bushi twice. Realistically, I think it's going to be Bushi. Again, we're coming up to Best of Super Junior. Taka will not be in it. Bushi will. We need at least some, you can't have Bushi going into the Best of Super Junior being beaten by Taka Michinoku.
That is true. That is good points.
Mainly because I actually have a shocker for another match result, so...
I am going to go with the shocker on this one, and I'm going to go with Taka Michinoku for the win. I realize how I have to break down these wins and losses in this.
Yeah, you got that's the thing.
You got to balance it out.
Head, heart, but then looking at it because it's actually 5.
Yes. Then you got Hiromu Takahashi going 1-on-1 with Doki. These two men have met in the past in the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Who wins this one?
So this is why I didn't do a shocker for the last one, because I have Doki winning. Because, and I was going to be like, why? Oh, it's just because you're a Doki fan. I feel the momentum building for Doki. I feel like by next year, we could have IWGP Junior Champion Doki. And Hiromu is that first step to get to the top of the mountain.
The only issue with that booking here is that they've already announced Hiromu Takahashi versus Mustafa Ali for Windy City Riot. And you're not going to have one of your top stars lose before you sell out 10,000 seats in Chicago.
Unless they do he loses, he goes even more crazy, like an Okada balloon. Like, I know Hiromu's crazy anyway, but have that sort of angle.
You gotta make him look strong.
Let me have one pick with my heart. I've been pretty smart the entire. I even had Riddle go over Tanahashi. Let me go this one. Let me have Doki winning.
Fair. I'll let you have it. Then you got a big rivalry reignited here as it's Shingo Takagi going 1-on-1 with Tai Chi. These two men met dozens of times, it felt like, in 2022, 2021, 2020. They met in 2022, mostly over the KOPW Provisional Championship. It was Tai Chi that beat Shingo for the title last year. Who do you think wins this non-title special singles match? I am going to go with your boy, the Emperor, Tai Chi.
So am I. And this one's not even this is a combination of head and heart. Okay, because I think we've got Shingo. We know Shingo is a top main player, but as we've said in the past, we need more guys in the top. And as much as people on Reddit like to hate on Tai Chi, he's old, he's very good in the ring, and he's very good with his character. So by having him win over Shingo, you have him established as a top star. There's no titles or anything on the line, and now you have more guys in the top who can put on these good matches. Honestly, I think a loss against Tai Chi is not going to look bad on Shingo because they've had wars over the years. And
also Shingo losing, he's going to be on a losing streak if he loses this one.
And then that
Tama, he's lost to Moxley. Yup, he's gonna win the New Japan Cup, y'all.
Never mind Narita, but
never mind.
Go away.
Get out of here, Shingo, my child. Come here.
I just think that like this works, that you establish it, you put on it's going to be a very hard hitting match, almost something that you'd expect for like the King of Pro Wrestling title or something like that. And it's gonna lift it, and I'm very excited because I think did they add a stipulation about the YouTube channel? Or is this not confirmed nor denied?
I have the preview up here, and I don't see anything about YouTube channels. They just go over their history with one another.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna really.
And of course, Sapporo is the hometown of Taichi as well.
He's a Hokkaido boy. You know, it's going to be a match that I think people are not going to... This and I think Hiromu versus Doki, people are maybe not going to expect much, but these two have possibility to even outshine... It won't outshine the next match, but it might outshine the title match.
Possible.
Just because the next match, I think, is going to be phenomenal.
I think the next match has the potential to be the match of the night. Hair versus hair. Yota Tsuji going one-on-one with Yuya Uemura. These two former young lions have become generational rivals with one another. And this is going to be their 49th time in one-on-one match. But this time, it doesn't get any bigger than this. If you don't have a title, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It's hair versus hair, both men's hair on the line. The loser gets their head cut off. Their hair cut off, not head. Hair cut off. Who you got here following the big win for Uemura at Wrestle Kingdom 18? Who you got against Tsuji?
I genuinely think that I might be crying because it's very early. This show, it's like at 5 a.m. I'll be crying like 8 a.m. watching. Thing is, have they stipulated head shave or just hair cut?
It says hair cut. Your hair is on the line. This says hair is on the line.
Right. So I think Uemura is losing just because I think we're gonna have it's gonna be a bit like the Young Lion days, Tally. Uemura would look very nice with short hair. We've seen it when he was a young lion. Whereas
I honestly,
long locks
it was you if you're talking about them having the shampoo deals that made me think that Yuya could win this, but I was like,
shampoo with his amazing short hair.
Yeah, you can still get it done, and Tsuji needs this win more.
And he needs his hair more because his hair is when he's on Fantastica Mini, he's been having it pinned up. It's very nice.
We got Dustin who's already saying, I'm calling it now. Yoda versus Yuya will over deliver and is the real main event.
I think a lot of us have been saying this since it was announced. Like any other card, any other day, it would be main event. It'd be this talk of it, and I think actually it is still the talk of fans and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just by default you can't not have the IWGP unless it's two massive stars, like maybe for example if it was a Danielson match or something like that or Moxley. You technically with New Japan you can't not have the IWGP heavyweight title as the main event with a guy like Naito as well.
Yeah, but I feel like more people are talking about this match heading in than they are talking about Naito and SANADA. It's
mainly everyone's deciding who's going to look better without the hair. And everyone's like, who are people going to be more upset about?
We got Vic Van Dogs who says, I would be very shocked if Uemura doesn't lose. He usually tie up his hair during matches, even in the promo footage. So
he looks even nicer tied up, because Tsuji's is a bit straggly sometimes. But when Uemura puts his hair up, it looks voluminous and in really good condition.
He's got the better hair.
Don't be underrating Uemura's hair just because he doesn't always have it. Because when it does come out, it's like a shampoo. It's just five guys promote shampoo.
I'm going with Tsuji in this matchup, but Uemura has the better hair.
Thank you. You know what? Everyone was calling me out saying Uemura has the better hair. It's not even a contest.
It's not even close. No. It's not even close. I said before, Tsuji has to put water in his hair. He has to put water in his hair.
It's like Jay White. Do you remember when Jay White used to come out and by the end of the match, his hair would be like when the water dried up?
Yeah. It'd be all puffed up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my hair does. I straighten my hair, but when it's natural, it just goes out. Whereas Uemura has this thing where his hair just looks great all the time. Tsuji, you can tell by the texture. that it takes a lot of like product to keep it looking in a certain way so it doesn't dry out. Whereas Umura looks like he woke up, he let it dry naturally, and it's just
It's like I woke up this way. And finally, Sonal, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship up for grabs. Tetsuya Naito defends against the former champion, SANADA. Of course, it was back at Wrestle Kingdom. Naito defeated SANADA. He was going to go for his roll call, but Evil House of Torture tried to break it up, tried to ruin the festivities, and it was SANADA who made the save, allowed Naito to get his roll call to finish his story. But now he is basically, Naito is basically giving back to SANADA. Since SANADA helped him, he is going to help him out by giving him this return match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But it seems like Naito is once again disappointed in the fact that SANADA doesn't seem like he cares that much. Yeah. So who do you think wins this one?
I'm obviously Team SANADA. Is he there? He is there. He's there at the end. I'm always Team SANADA, but yeah, I have Naito. I personally I quite like this that Naito keeps calling out SANADA. I know everyone, like a lot of people are still complaining about SANADA. I personally don't mind his silent thing, but I get why people would get annoyed, and like it's completely reasonable. I just quite like SANADA's character and things like that. But yeah, I have Naito winning just because I think, again, this will be a match that, again, helps bolster SANADA to keep him in that like main event status, obviously, while we're losing Okada. But Naito's story has still got quite a few chapters. And there's only one man we believe should dethrone Tetsuya Naito. And we have made reference to it multiple times in this video, multiple times in every single video. It is not our.
Praise be our Prime Minister.
It's my Prime Minister.
Our Zack Prime Minister. He's the world's Prime Minister.
He's the Prime Minister of the world. He's the Prime Minister of all New Japan fans. We'll take it on that.
Factual. But yes, I am going with Tetsuya Naito to retain, and Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., I could see that at Sakura Genesis or Wrestling Dontaku, but when it happens, new champion, Zack Sabre Jr.
I will cry. I think everyone will cry. Kieran will cry. He will be crying.
Kieran will cry. I'll probably cry. NK will cry. Sonal will cry.
Everyone in the UK will cry.
Yes. Everyone in the UK will collectively cry. Especially if this year, imagine this year, you get Zack Sabre Jr. IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and Will Ospreay AEW World Champion.
Forbidden Door.
There you go. The booking 101
here. Tony Khan.
We're here. We just need the paycheck in the mail. Please. But that brings us to the end of our preview here. Final call for Super Chat donations for any last comments and predictions on the card for Sapporo Genesis, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be on NJPW World this coming Friday, February 23rd, this coming Saturday, February 24th. Sonal, thank you so much for joining me here on the preview. Will you be joining me for the review? Probably next Monday. I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Is Zack Sabre Jr. one of the best? Is Zack Sabre Jr. the best technical wrestler in the world?
That's a yes. So me and Sonal will be back here next Monday, right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel to review New Beginning in Sapporo Day 1 and Day 2. Until then, Sonal, let the people know where they can follow you on social media, your YouTube channel, and everywhere else.
Yeah. So as always, you can follow me at wrestling_chat on social media. You can find everything that I'm doing here, so I'll retweet when I've got a new video. So that is at Sonal's Life. Make sure to subscribe because I will be hopefully out on Saturday with a review a few hours after the show ends. Okay, I give it because it's early, by the afternoon our time. I will be back with previews, reviews, everything. And obviously you can find me here on True Hill Heat and over at Wrestle In on Ace Techers. So yeah, make sure to follow because I always, if I can, and I'm watching live, I will live tweet, and sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're hilarious, sometimes they're sad. You'll never know. You'll never know what you get from me.
It's a good time following Sonal. Go over and follow Sonal on social media. Follow our live tweets. for Sapporo this coming Friday and Saturday. You could follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. And you could go over to our secondary channel, which is now True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. We will be doing some reviews of TV shows, movies, even some pop culture topics over there on the sports channel. So go over and enjoy that. We got our NBA All-Star recap that's up on our shorts right now on the channel. So you could go over and check out that and check out all the great content on this channel right now, like the True Hill Heat Flagship podcast from this past Saturday with me, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Jaw Josh talking about this week in wrestling. Check out me and Sonal from our NJPW, The New Beginning in Osaka review from last week. You can check that out. Very good one right there as well. But me and Sonal will be back with you next Monday. Enjoy the shows this weekend and enjoy New Japan Pro Wrestling always. For Sonal, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW, The New Beginning in Sapporo preview. We are signing off until next time.